Hey. I hope everyone is well. I hope, everything's good with everyone. So, just going to wait until people come in. So, as you can see, I'm here on my own at the moment. It's only because Mark is at work and he's on his way home. So, he will be here, but even when he comes in, he's not going to come straight on. I think he's going to go upstairs, probably get changed. There's some things in the kitchen that he'll probably grab to eat. So I'm wearing my glasses. You'll get a reflection. Sorry about that. Look. If you can do it around my eyes. Yeah. So that's just me messing about going, yeah, you can do it in my eyes. So basically, who have we got? Hey, Amanda, how are you? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining me. So basically, Mark will be here, but he is just on his way. Hey, Vaughan, how are you? I hope you're well. So Mark will be home. He is just out. Oh, he's calling me right now. Hi, I'm just on the live. Oh, apparently the Piccadilly line has just ended, so there's major delays. Okay, no problem. Mark says hello. And Richard says hi. Well, he's saying hi to me, but I'm just explaining to everyone that you're going to be very, very late. Go on. Ah! Okay, all right, bye. So he is just so basically, if you he's running late. There is not the Piccadilly line hasn't ended, but there's problems on the Piccadilly line. So obviously that's backing everything up and all of this type of stuff. So he's going to be very late. But he was just telling me opening up new branches of Omarivio. Somebody told me how to pronounce it online the other day. So basically, if you watched one of our videos, there you'll see that it's one of my favorite pastry shops in Brussels. And when I found out that they had a couple here, I was like, oh my god, they've even got one in Clapham near Battersea. I was so shocked because we went to the sushi cafe. And if I'd have known, I wouldn't have taken the bus and gone all the way to Leadenhall Market when I could have just gone to like Battersea because we were there already. I could have just gone to Clapham Junction or whatever. So now that I know, whenever I'm there, I'll know that I can go to Omarivio. Oh dear, Mark. Yeah, it's true. He may not make it, but I think he will. So I just think he's going to be very late. So he'll come at the tail end. It was very cold today. Do you know what? I didn't go out today. I must admit, I was just working on the laptop, and then people kept calling me, so I didn't get as much work done as I would have liked. But yeah, so that's pretty much been my day. Was the number one for me? Oh, right, for you to go to Heathrow. Yeah, do you know what? I think I've never taken the tube to the airport. I've always taken like train or we've gone by taxi. So train and taxi. There was one time when Mark and I near got together and he said, oh, let's go down on the train. And like, do you know what? This is me being a princess. I'm used to being like someone driving us to the airport or whatever. Anyway, we couldn't get a lift, and I didn't really want to ask my uncle because I always ask my uncle to give us a lift. So I thought, okay, do you know what? Let's do it. Let's take this Gatwick Express. So I got my, so we jumped on the Gatwick Express, and I tell you this, I don't think I could do it again, to be quite honest. Dragging the suitcase, getting on and off the train, and people do it all the time. Regular people being me, regular people do it all the time. But I just found it like so. There was one time when I took the coach. So I was at Heathrow and I took the coach back home. and my mum had to pick me up at the end of the coach. And again, that was another nightmare. Although the coach was, I have to say, the coach was easier than doing the train, like getting on and off and all of that type of stuff, and then taking the express and whatnot. So I think if I was to go again, I think I would prefer to go by coach rather than go by train, but that's just me. Let's have a look. Hey Amy, how are you? Mark, yeah, hopefully Mark will hopefully be on later. Just depends on the train times and stuff like that. And I think he rang me and didn't realize that I was actually doing the live. I said I'm on the live, and he's like, oh. But we had already like spoken about it like 20 minutes ago, because he rang me 20 minutes ago. He rang me, actually, I say 20 minutes ago. He rang me about 5:30, and saying that he was going to be late. But he was hopping onto the tube at that point. And so obviously he's gotten off at the other end of the tube, and he's just like, oh my God, this is quite crazy. There's problems with the Piccadilly line, which is also, sometimes when there's a problem with one line, it backs up everything else. Good evening, Amy. Here it was warm today. Do you know what? It looked sunny outside, but I don't think it was warm. I had the bathroom window open and I've been cold. So let me just tell you what I've got in front of me today. So I've got a chocolate milkshake, and I've got this bowl of I am obsessed, absolutely obsessed with these onion crisps, and they are Sainsbury's own. So they're Sainsbury's own crisps. And I was obsessed with the bacon ones. Again, Sainsbury's own. I've tried Tesco's own and a couple of other supermarkets own, and they're not as good. But Sainsbury's ones were absolutely delicious. Now I'm obsessed with these onion ones. I love them. And then I bought, so when we were in Swindon, they had like a Cadbury shop, and they had these Jelly Babies berry mix. So I got these and I just popped them on the top. I literally just opened them and popped them on the top. So I've got, Jelly Babies and onion crisps. Weird, I know. But sometimes you just want something a little bit sweet among the salty. That's my excuse anyway. So what's everyone saying? Problem, the London Underground. Most of it is outdated, exactly. And it costs millions just to bring in new stock. Yeah. Kelly, you're on my big screen. Well, hello, big screen. Let me see if I can get my arms in. I can't. Oh, yeah, there we are. Hello, big screen. Nice and early today, Kelly. Yes. It was warm and freezing. Do you know what? I'm cold and I've got my heated blanket. So here's my heated blanket. I've got it just under me here. Because I thought, do you know what? This weather's not messing about. It's cold. I don't care. I'm always cold. So I'm just waiting for that. A lot of people say, oh, yeah, you'll be complaining about the hot weather. I never, even if I was sweltering and I was really hot and sweating, I never complain about the hot weather ever, because I know what it's like to be cold. And I am, I just find being cold worse. And people go, oh, yeah, but you can put layers on it. Listen, when the cold is in your bones, it's in your bones. That's it. You can't get warm from that. So I always like the hot weather. Plus, my knees do a lot better in the hot weather. And I told you like a couple of lives ago that my wrist and my hands have been hurting quite a lot. But if I put it under hot water and I have it under my cover, it's fine. It's still a bit stiff, but it's okay. But Mark thinks maybe a bit of arthritis, so it could be. But I seem to remember banging my hands, but also I wasn't using the mouse. And then, you have your fingers in weird positions. And then I've got this little pop, and I've been having those and leaning on my fingers. And I don't think any of that has helped my hand whatsoever. So now I try to have it in sort of like more neutral positions. But yeah, it does still hurt. So what we're saying? You did 2 lives this week. Yes. I saw, was it this week? Did you do Misled Ragdolls this week as well? Because I remember I only caught a bit of the Misled Ragdolls one, or maybe that was on catch up, maybe. But I did watch your party one. I thought the party one was really good. It's probably your best live yet. For me, anyway, was your party one. I thought that was a really good one. You raving up and that. I thought it was really good. Why am I hungry? I had tuna and rice. LOL. I don't know about tuna and rice. I've never really. I like tuna steaks, and I like it when I. So I do like a Mauritian dish called poisson vindai. It's where you pickle your onions, where you pickle the onions, and you sort of like it's a little bit of turmeric, garlic, ginger, and all that. You fry with like mustard seeds. You fry the tuna. You caramelize it a little bit. Wait for it to go a bit brown, and then once you do the onions and everything else, you put them in a bread roll and you put it in a bread roll baguette, wherever you want to put it. But then you eat it and it's delicious. I really, really enjoy it. And then Mark he devours it. Sometimes I can't even finish cooking before he's already in the pot or the pan and eating stuff. That happens whenever I'm cooking, like, like a Russian snack of some sort, or if I'm doing like, breaded prawns or something like that. Mark comes in, and as I'm putting it down on the tissue paper, he's coming and he's eating it. So when I do things like coconut shrimp, or if I do gâteau brésil, which is like a fried fritter aubergine, like I don't even have time to make it look nice or to put it with a dish before Mark comes in and starts eating everything. And sometimes I don't even get a chance to even like, oh, let me try one. No, because this man's come in and he's eating all the stuff, and I'm just like, can I please have some? Do you know what I'm saying? So let's see. I'm drinking a new drink by Bulldog Brewery. Oh, right, called Blackheart. How is it? How does it taste, Richard? Is it good? I can't wait to make a parody on you being cold. I'm telling you, right? I'm always cold. I can't help it. Like I said, I've got my little cover, and do you know what I'm saying? I've either got my nightgown or my cover on, so I don't play with the cold. I'm telling you right now. Richard had any new screaming ladies? Well, Richard, have you? Evening, beautiful Kelly. Oh, hi, Touche. I hope you're well. How are you? Tushy, Amy says. Evening, all. Amy D. Amy, only lady screams is my sister. She's loud all the time. LOL. Do you know what? Like, my whole family's pretty loud, actually. Like, when we talk, Mark thinks we're arguing, but no, that's just the way that we talk a lot of the time. So Mark just think, but we always talk loud. We've always been I think maybe it sort of derives from my granddad, because like my granddad was always a loud character. But yeah, I've got to admit, all my family are loud. Yeah, all of them are loud. And when we get together, it's all like, food and talking and laughing and all of that type of stuff. So we haven't, normally I do an annual family barbecue, and then I do little mini barbecues or brunches in between. But we haven't, since 2020. I mean, don't get me wrong, we've like done little brunches and I've done mini barbecues, but I haven't done a big family barbecue. And that used to be, we used to do it sort of like in June or July. We'd have like a big we'd have like 40 people in the garden, and everyone's having a good time, drinking, eating, catching jokes and stuff like that. And I hope we get to do it again soon. Do you know what I mean? There's nothing like when we've had like family functions and stuff where we all get together, but I think the barbecue is the main event. It's like everybody loves to get together and start chatting and stuff. Well, thank you, lovely. Cold has gone. How are you? Oh, good. I'm so glad like you've recovered and stuff. It's horrible being ill or when you're not 100%. At my bro-in-law's party, it was few ladies and single, LOL. My sister introduced me to them and says, this is my nerdy brother. Ladies and music and booze, OTT. I stayed outside. Oh, really? Was it over the top? Really? Normally, well, I suppose it depends on the ladies, I guess. But normally they're quite fun, quite flirty. We can be sort of like, do you know what I mean? We're all about having a laugh and stuff like that. So I'm surprised that it was over the top. But sometimes when the ladies get together, we know how to party. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take a little sip. Most men was outside. Yeah, but was most men attached? What that you need to be with the ladies. The single men need to be with the ladies. You know what I mean? The single ladies, bearing in mind, not the attached ones, single ladies. And Richard, you know what I'm saying? You're always looking for this. You know, there's always a girl that's flirting with you and stuff like that. So you should have been outside flirting or inside flirting with the ladies. But your sister was coming and adjusting the phone. Was that your sister coming to adjust the phone? But if you didn't watch it, Richard did a live. And the live was really good. It was Richard just dancing. And it was your brother-in-law, right? It was his day. I did get dragged in. Exactly. But yeah, if you watched Richard's live, Richard's there just dancing away. And then the brother-in-law's dancing away as well. And then your nephew was there. And then your nephew, oh, bless your nephew, had a little dance. And I'm assuming that was the nephew's sister. Your niece, I think the two of them were having they were having a little bit of a play fight, but really they just wanted to dance. I was just showing my sister, right? Okay, yeah, because she kept pressing. She was looking, but it was funny because when she was going near you, all you could see was her finger going near the sort of like near the lens. I'm doing this near the lens, so that was quite funny. And I was like, get the birthday boy, because the birthday boy was dancing, and then all of a sudden he was gone. So I'm assuming he got a little bit tired or maybe self-conscious. You never know. So how was everyone's weekend? What did everyone get up to? I'm going to tell you something now. So I had a problem with the tooth. It had a cap on. I had a root canal in it a few years ago now. And they put a cap on it. And the cap came off. And the tooth sort of didn't split in half, but a corner of the tooth came out. So then they put a silver ring around the tooth, and then they put the cap on the tooth. However, something must have happened with the tooth because I could feel that the gum was loose on the inside. Anyway, the dentist didn't want to lever it off to put a new cap on because she thought that although she took x-rays, she had a suspicion that the tooth may be cracked at a line just underneath the gum. And so she didn't want to lever it off. But now I wish she had just sort of like either extract it or take it off or whatever, because now half of the tooth now has come off. The part with the cap took the tooth away with it. So now I've got a root in my gum, and I'm assuming they're going to have to cut the gum to lever out the rest of the tooth. I don't know what they're going to have to do. But in my mind, I'm just thinking, oh, this is going to be peak. It's going to be a madness. And I'm wondering, can they just stick the tooth back on with glue? But I don't think that's realistic. But, you know, when you're trying to think of all these things other than what it has to be, them cutting the gum and all of that type of stuff, my gum is already on the inside bent over like it wants to heal over the hole already. But there's a root, so it can't. Yeah, they'll have to obviously take it out. But I don't like the dentist at the best of times. And, you know, like I've got a little bit of a phobia. Like my mum's got a real phobia. But I've got a little bit of a phobia, and I'm just thinking, oh, but anyway, let's see what they do with it, because I've got an emergency appointment. So yeah, so that was me yesterday. I was like, oh my God. My niece is not a people person, right? And then my sister, I do a live. She comes down, okay. And then my sister. So when you do a live, does your sister come down when you're doing a live? I'm sorry to hear that, Kelly. Oh, thanks, Amy. I'm thinking, oh, you know what? When you do, I was watching something the other day, and it was about a phlebotomist, and she hated it that people were afraid of needles. Like she just thinks, oh, for God's sake, do you know what I mean? Like, just get over it. It's a needle. But some people have a real fear, and I just think, why are you a phlebotomist if you're not even going to be compassionate about people's fears? Like I do have a fear of needles. Don't get me wrong. I don't get like, oh my God, and blah, blah, blah. But I was traumatized a little bit where needles were concerned. And so I remember I had to go, before I went to Mauritius, I had to go and get, get a tetanus and a malaria and some, I don't know if it was like 2 or 3 injections. and Mark needed to get his done, but he wasn't able to meet me on time to be with me to have my needles done. Anyway, I'm not one that like, you know, freaks out and sort of like whatever, but you know, I am sort of apprehensive, but I just sit there, you know, and just think, oh, okay, right, it's only a needle, it's only a needle, it's only a needle. So anyway, your emotions are building up so much. She put the needle in and everything else, and it's painful and all that. And I didn't like go, but obviously tears came down a little bit. But obviously it's the emotion, and you just think to yourself, oh my god, I want to have a needle. And then she turned around, she goes to me, "Are you all right?" And I was going, "Oh yeah, I just got a fear of needles." She goes, "Oh, have you had any kids?" Like suggesting that, well, when you have children, that's going to be more painful than a needle. But the simple fact is, I'm sure you're not going to. There's some people that might have a fear of having children or whatever, but a fear is a you know, when you just like you like speak, you look at some people and you're just thinking to yourself, well, I'm sure I'm not going to be fearful when I have a child. Yeah, you're going to think about the pain and you're going to think about, oh yeah, it's going to be painful and all of this, but it's not going to be like an actual fear of. Do you know what I mean? And I was just looking at her and just thought, well, first of all, I'm not freaking out or anything like that. I'm just being quiet. Like if I like, I wouldn't. Not that I wouldn't, but you know, there are some people that have a real fear and they freak out and stuff like that. Some people faint. I remember I had a friend when we went into school. We had to have our BCGs, and my friend just fainted. She just like flat out just fainted. And so, you know, my fear is not, although she wasn't afraid of needles, she just, it was just a thing for her that every time she had a needle, she would faint. So she didn't have a fear. It was just a result of the needle that she would just faint. But some people's fear are like real and they freak out and they this and they that. And while I do have a fear, I just sit there and I just think, oh, okay, it's only a needle, it's only a needle. Just like you just have to sit here, you just have to breathe. And this is what's going on in my mind. You just have to breathe, you just have to let it go. Da, 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 da. So this is me talking my internal monologue. And then so a tear came down and she's like, oh, are you okay? And I was going, oh yeah, I just got a fear. This is how I said it. I goes, yeah, I just got a fear of needles. She goes, oh, well, have you had children? Do you know what I mean? As if to say, but like, you know, when you just sit there and you just think to yourself, now I'm going to kick off. And then it's going to be like, oh, it's because you're afraid of needles. And no, it's how you're speaking to me in a derogatory way. I've not freaked out. I've not caused a madness. I'm not saying that those people who do cause a madness or do like haven't. It's a fear. It is a fear. So it's totally understandable. I remember when I was little, and maybe this is where the trauma comes from, I guess. I remember, God, I must have been about. God, I would have been about 6, maybe. Yeah, I would have been about 6 because I hadn't gone into the junior playground yet. So when I was at school, you had a junior playground and you had an infant. So I was still in the infants. And I remember my mum took me to the doctor's surgery and I had to have a needle. And when I saw the needle, it took 4 of them to hold, 3 of them to hold me down. And my mum had to watch. I freaked out. I freaked out. And imagine for 3 of the people to have to hold you, how strong I must have been. The fear that and I just remember, but maybe I think in my mind, that's probably what, I don't know if it's at that point or maybe earlier on, because sometimes when you suffer a trauma, sometimes you don't remember it. So it could have been something prior to that. But I remember freaking out. I remember when I had to have my 2 front teeth out, they had to put me to sleep. And I remember freaking out and crying for my mom and everything else. So you have all these little traumas that have happened. And I just think to myself, my God. So when she was talking to me about that, and I just thought, I'm about to punch, freaking out or not on the inside, I'm about to punch this woman. But, you know, you're just thinking, what stupid thing are you going to, like, do you know what? But anyway, it's one of those things. So let me have a look. Here we go. Oh yeah, all right. Drink Black Heart is a stout. Okay. Oh, the drink is Black Heart. It's a stout, very strong and slightly creamy taste. Do you know what? I'm not really like a stout or Guinness person, But there are some that I was quite surprised that there are a couple of people in my family that really do like Guinness. But I do make a good chocolate Guinness cake. It's Nigella's recipe. It's really tasty. Um, Actually, I had teeth problems, root canal. Yeah, it was quite painful because I could still, even though he put like loads of injections, I could still feel it when he was digging out the root canal. But it was my one and only root canal. I don't know. You'll be fine, Kelly. Yeah. The waiting is the worst. That's right. And you build yourself up and you overthink things and you're just thinking to yourself, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. But I don't really worry about it until I'm actually inside, when I'm actually inside the room. I don't really, there was one time I had to go on my own. I was in my 20s, my early 20s, I think. And I did freak out a little bit in the waiting room. I was like, but I have never suffered like that before. I was just like, oh my God. I was like freaking out a little bit. But it's the only time that that's ever happened, really. I'm not the type of person to just like freak out and stuff like that. I'm actually quite good at holding it in and saying, right, okay, it's just one of these things that we've got to do, and let's just get it over and done with and all of that. But that time, yeah, I was freaking out. And then another time when I went into the dentist, I was just like, she hadn't even done anything. And I was like, she had my mouth open. I was just like, calm down, Kenny. In my mind, I'm like, calm down, calm down, calm down, calm down. And I don't even know what I was freaking out about because she hadn't done anything and she wasn't about to do anything. But I think, sometimes when they get them hook things, and they start digging at your gums. And I think it's the fear of, like we all don't like toothaches and things like that. So maybe it's a fear sort of related to toothaches or something like that. Or like I said, some type of early trauma that maybe I don't remember. Or maybe, maybe it stems from the trauma that I remember from having my two front teeth out, possibly. And I remember waking up and I had no front teeth, but they had, where they had put me to sleep, my mum had to try to get me in a taxi, and I just couldn't, and she couldn't carry me, and she's like, Kelly, get up. And I was just in a daze. I was in a complete daze. And again, yeah, I was in the infants at school, I remember, and I was just in a complete and utter daze. And I remember waking up at my granddad's, and he had prepared soup for me, so I could just have soup to eat. The memories that we have, eh? Rich's Adventures. Hi, dropped out to take a call. Oh, okay. So let's have a look. Kelly had teeth problems. Yeah, read that one. You'll be fine. Yeah, I'm sure I will be. I don't freak out, but I mean, I freak out on the inside. I don't really freak out on the outside. Last weekend I did an open event for my college, and I came last place for my class photography competition. But oh well. Do you know what? It will just give you that oomph. Sorry that you came last. And I think maybe it's going to give you that oomph to say, right, do you know what? This is what happened to Michael Jackson. And he was like, next year, I'm going to sweep the awards. And he did with Thriller, by the way. So this is your thing to say, do you know what? Next time I'm going to sweep up. But, I do like your pictures and stuff like that, and just carry on doing it. Don't let this stop you or get you down or anything like that. Just let it push you. Let it be your catalyst. Sorry, explain better. My niece's, your niece likes your video. When I did the live suggested by my sister, my niece likes the camera. Okay. You'll see her move her younger brother out of the way. Oh, wait, see, she likes to be front and center. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with wanting the attention and being front and center, as long as, do you know what I mean? It's within not a conceited way. But if you enjoy the attention, that's fine. Just don't let it be in a conceited way. I hate needles. Yeah, small holes make a big impact to your body. Yeah, do you know what? I just think that it's just one of those things that we build up with in our mind. And yeah, you just got to understand to keep yourself calm and stuff like that. Like Mark doesn't have a fear of needles. My mum has a real fear of the dentist. And I think maybe the fear of the dentist is all, the drills and the this and the that. And you associate it with pain. and you don't want to be in any type of pain, and that's probably what triggers certain things. So it's a little bit crazy. I was told once, if can't tolerate toothache, I wouldn't be any good giving birth. Yeah, because that's the same. Exactly. Yeah. What if you can't suffer a toothache? What, you can't? Like, honestly, some people's rationale is just like, can we just deal with the problem? Can we stop talking about kids and blah 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 and just deal with the problem? I'll worry about having kids or not. You just worry about making less pain for me and making me feel comfortable. Please, thank you. It's just crazy. Some people are just crazy. Weekend was noisy. Oh, okay. No idea how I had the energy to play PS4 Rocket League. Oh my goodness. On my younger nephew's PS4. Do you know what? Like, sometimes it's good to have like a busy weekend, but sometimes when it comes to Monday, if you work, it can be quite tiring on the Monday, but it's still nice to sort of have a busy weekend, do things, catch up with family, be with family, or even just be with friends, or even just being busy on your own. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just like, sometimes I really like it if I get a weekend to myself. Like, let's say Mark might go to out or visit friends or go to family or whatever, and then you just think, oh, so Mark's going to be gone. Like, what am I going to do for the weekend? Then you're thinking, well, hang on a second, I'm going to take myself to lunch. I'm going to go do this. I'm going to go do that. I'm going to live life. Do you see what I'm saying? So sometimes it's just nice to sort of like, do you know what? This is what I'm going to do. And I remember I was single for a very long time, and I always used to do nice things for myself. Not that I don't do nice things for myself now, but I would always make a point of maybe going to do a massage or getting my nails done or going out shopping, meeting up with friends, going for lunch, going to the cinema. I'd go to the cinema on my own. I remember there was a woman that I used to work with many years ago, and I couldn't stand her, and I was just like, oh my God. And I remember as soon as my time came, I was out and I just went and watched Harry Potter on my own. It was coming to the end of the sort of like of its period being in the cinema, and it was just me and one other person in the cinema. We were two people on our own, and I absolutely loved it. I really enjoy it when I'm abroad and I go to cinema on my own. I really like it. Them sort of things don't really bother me, and yeah, it's just nice to sort of like go off and do something on your own and just like not have anybody with you or bothering you or knowing that you only have to please yourself, kind of thing. So I look forward to them sort of things. I think, oh, do you know what? I'm just going to go off and do this. And I remember I had ordered some shoes, and I thought, oh, I have to go and pick it up. So I went to pick it up, and then I took myself for brunch. And I just sat there and sort of like, there was a girl that she was doing work in the place that I went to, and the girl was on her laptop and she was taking a phone call and was being like really loud, and I was just like, surely when you do have your headset and you want to take a call, surely the reason why you've got a headset is so that you can be more quieter, not for the whole place to hear you. And I was just like, oh my God, but there we go. Everyone's different. Where are we? Just say, yeah, I've had 7 kids as a joke. It's true. I'm just going to say this. Yeah, I have. That did not make me not afraid of needles. Thank you. I do blood tests every 3 months. Used to it. Yeah. Do you know what? Some people do get used to it. I'm just, not one of those people. Dentist is okay. Just had the x-rays. Yeah, I had to have x-rays for this tooth as well. Overthinking can make a simple situation so much worse. I speak from experience. Touche is so true. I do the same thing. Touche McBoosh Pineapple, how are you? That's from Amy. Hola, hey Eve, how are you? I hope you're well. Well, thank you, Amy. How are you? Okay, when I go for a blood test, I will think of Kelly. And think of my trauma as a kid. Just think of me. Yeah, whenever you go now get your needles, you just think of me. I'm okay, thanks, Tushi. Good. It's healthy to have you time. It's so true. Even in relationships, it's just as important for your partner. Also, it's true. Where's Mark? Hey, Liam, how are you? He is on his way. He got caught up because there was some delays. He went into the office today. So there's been some delays on the tube lines, so he is on his way, but he will be late. But he will be joining us. He'll go into the kitchen, grab something to eat quickly, and then and then come and join us. I had 2 blood tests in 1 month. Yeah, how did that go? Like, how does everybody else feel about noodles, noodles? Yeah, how do we all feel about noodles? I love them. Needles, not so much. Um, I was the only person in the cinema to watch Richie Rich. Oh, really? Do you know what? I've got to say, Richie Rich, that's the one with Macaulay Culkin, right? It didn't really appeal to me, actually. And even to this day, when it did come on one time, and it's one of those films that I've never watched all the way through, because sometimes, you get those films. I'm just trying to think of one where it's been on so many times, and I've tried to sit down and watch it and have been, you know, I don't know, distracted, something's happened, and I've not been able to watch the thing all the way through. Um, Richie Rich, this man lives the high ends of London. Richard is rich. Oh, right. This man lives in the high ends of London, does he? Be right back. Need a cake. Yeah, me too. Liam says, Mark rules. Oh, what about me? Do I not rule? Just Mark, I guess. He'll be here soon, so don't worry. I had acupuncture yesterday. Oh, my goodness. I don't know. Do you know what? I don't know if I would feel different about acupuncture. Isn't that strange? Because of the way that they do, my only fear about acupuncture is if somebody was to touch the needles by accident, or I was to turn by accident or something like that. But I've always found that, maybe acupuncture would be quite interesting. And funnily enough, I don't think I would have a fear of that. It's actual needles, actual taking blood or pushing something foreign in my body, I guess, is what I'm thinking about. But I have often thought about acupuncture, but I don't know. It's never made me acupuncture. It's never the thought has never made me think, do you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to get up and do acupuncture. But I have thought about it actually, and I don't think that would affect me in the same way. But that's just me. I'd have to get into the room and wait till they start to do the first one, where they do, and then they put it in. I don't know. I'd have to wait till they do the first one and then see. Amy says, yeah, she hates needles. Yeah, I was about to say noodles again. OMG, acupuncture. I want to try that. That's just what I'm saying. Oh, Richard's back. What cake did you get, Richard? Back. BK. BK means back. Exactly. I was thinking, oh, he's back. What cake did you get? Is Mark's birthday the 12th of May based on watching past live videos? No, it isn't. But you're only a couple of days out. It's on the 10th. I'm okay with needles, to be honest. Yeah, if I have blood tests, you like to watch. If I'm at the dentist, it's only 5 seconds. Do you know what? When I take, if they do the butterfly in the hand sometimes, and then you see once the needle's in, I'm okay. It's them try. I remember I went to I had to go to the hospital once for them to do a blood test, and he couldn't find the vein. Now my veins are quite prominent, right? And he dug it in like 3-4 times. Of course, then a tear came down, and he looked at me confused. Mate, you're digging like 3 or 4 times in my hands with a needle because you can't bloody well find a vein. My veins are quite prominent. And so anyway, he found the vein, and I just thought, oh my God, I feel like I just felt like he wasn't what you call it, he wasn't experienced enough. And I just thought, oh, can you call an experienced person in, please? I feel like I need an experienced person. But anyway, he took it from my hand. And then I don't mind once it's in, and then the blood, and then you watch the blood zip up and you think, oh, and then you're just waiting. It's just a little bit uncomfortable. Once it's in, it's just a bit uncomfortable. So that sort of thing I don't mind. But it's the actual going in, I suppose. That's the fear for me. But like I said, I think it might be some type of maybe past trauma or something like that. London. I live in Essex. Rent is cheaper. Well, yeah, I mean, rent is cheaper, but I tell you what, rent is getting expensive everywhere these days. Like, the cost of living crisis is not a joke. It's quite crazy. Um, you are some crazy woman. I was just watching on the like just before we came on, I was just watching. You know, they're extending the ULEZ zone, right? And I'm just thinking, like, he's going, oh yeah, it's this, that, and the other. I'm concerned with the air and all this. No, you're not. Let's be real, because if you were, when you did the ULEZ zone in the first place, and the ULEZ zone has been going for many years, all of a sudden now you want to accept. But you know what I think the reason is? Because obviously, nobody travels in a lot now because of all this remote working. Like, not as many people travel in now because, lo and behold, shocker, you can now work from home, and people actually, don't get me wrong, there are some people that just don't bother working from home. They say they're working from home, but really they're doing other things. But there are people who are genuinely working from home. And now that people are working from home, obviously everyone's driving locally, and like you get these little London sort of like little shops now that are, places like Itsu or Coco di Mama, or I don't know, Gale's Bakery, and all of this. They're all opening up locally now. And this to me makes sense. It makes sense now because a lot of people now are working from home. So those companies can still make money from their London branches as well as in these like little towns and stuff. But of course, what's his name's thinking, well, I need to make some, like, now people aren't taking public transport. I need to make some of that money as well. Do you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to expand the ULEZ zone. So in the near future, when everyone decides to switch to hybrid or to electric, I wonder what he's going to do. I wonder exactly what he is going to do with regards to trying to make money. Because the thing is, while he is extending and doing all these, there's still potholes in all the like roads and stuff like that. They're not getting repaired as quickly as they used to, and things like that. So while he's expanding and trying to make this money, why aren't we seeing it? Why aren't we seeing the results of this money? No, because you're still trying to pay back the billions or millions that you borrowed. For, like, if Mark was here, he would be like, well, I don't know. Mark, ever the diplomat. I'm going to say how it is. Do you know what I mean? I just think to myself, right, you're extending this zone and blah blah blah. But I'm just thinking, well, I don't see now. But listen, the people are taking it over. I was watching on the news where they're like destroying all the cameras, cutting the cameras, and all of this, and setting all these things up. It's costing millions to set up all these cameras, and people are just blithely going around destroying all these cameras. I'm just like, oh my god. So now it's just like a fight between the locals and obviously the mayor putting up all the cameras and wasting the money that you're making, basically. I don't know. It's quite crazy. Trying birthday cake. My sister's neighbor Vicky made. It was chocolate and bits of chocolate. It's her first one. It's okay, but second attempt. First one was flat. Do you know what? But that's how it starts. Sometimes you just got to practice. Like, I've always been okay at making cakes. But I didn't know the difference between over mixing and things like that, which I've come to learn as I've gone on. And you improve with each bake. So it's good for her. Like mine have come on, but I still get ones where sometimes it hasn't cooked in the middle, and I'm just like, oh my god, what was the oven not hot enough? Did I not put it in for long enough? Did I put it on too high? Was it too low? And all of these crazy things. But sometimes when you adjust recipes, you also have to adjust the temperature of the oven in accordance. And it depends on where you place your cakes in the oven as well. So that's very important to know all of that type of stuff. But you get used to it. The more cakes that you make and the more people that you're able to share it out with, they can give you honest opinions on the cake and stuff. So then it makes it, you get to improve later on. But if it was only me and Mark, I couldn't bake as many cakes as I've been able to bake in the past. Do you know what I mean? So it's always good to have other people that you can divvy up the cakes to and give out. Richard, you should make a prime birthday cake for the garden party for Kelly, for Mark and Kelly. Oh, really? Nobody would make cakes but me. I'm the one that's making cakes in my house. You get me? Although, when my nephew has his birthday, he likes a specific cake. He likes an Oreo cookies cake. Now, I made it once, but I couldn't, in all good conscience, put as much sugar in as what it was asking. But I can adjust the recipe a little bit in order to get the right ratio of buttercream or cream cheese frosting to sugar. It's just that when it was buttercream frosting, it's quite a lot of icing sugar or powdered sugar that they ask you to put in the recipe, and I'm never really like 600 grams. That's such a lot of sugar. I'm never really comfortable in putting that much sugar in any cake. But yeah, I'm going to adjust it so that I can get the taste right. Amy, not good at sponge cakes, but my niece makes awesome cakes. Wow. What do you make? What does your niece make? What I am the pot holes because British people are losing the pot. Okay. Oh, you're making the potholes because British people are losing the pots. Okay. I make recipes that are old recipes, bread pudding. I'm a wonder at cookies and bread. Yeah, Mark really liked your Egyptian bread one that you did. Once I made a huge puff mince pie. Oh wow. And absinthe jelly was fun. I'm not sure about the absinthe jelly. Um, like I feel like absinthe's an acquired taste, a bit like Pernod and Ouzo and all that. They're like quite sort of like aniseedy sort of like taste. So I think it's one of those things that's acquired. It's a bit like sambuca. Bread pudding is my mum's speciality. Wow, you versus my mum's bread pudding. Are you up for the challenge? Does your mum make bread pudding with actual bread, or does she use like brioche or croissant? Like, I'm not a lover of bread pudding, I've got to be honest. But I would try it with brioche or croissant. But with actual bread, I'm not really a lover of it, I've got to say. Mark and Kelly will do a taste test. Do you know what? Mark is one for bread pudding. Like, Mark and Ben's mum, she's like really good at all the baking and stuff like that. So they grew up eating home cooked and baked foods, like proper like home cooked stuff. So they like sort of like all different types of cakes and that. But I'm not a lover of anything that is sharp or a little bit sour. So like if the fruit is tart, like Mark will go, yeah, but that's how it, Mark will be eating it, yeah, but that's how it's supposed to taste. And I'm like, no, I can't eat, I'm Mauritian, so I can't eat anything like sour tasting or tart tasting. But apparently that is how it's supposed to be, because the sweetness of whatever it is, whether that be meringues, whether that be custard, or whether that be the crumble, that's supposed to bring out the sweetness of the sharp. It cuts the sweetness, the sharp taste, but it's not for me. I've got to be honest. But yeah, Mark and Ben were very lucky because they grew up with a mum that sort of like, cooked all of these sort of like delicious desserts and cakes and bakes and stuff. But Mark's favorite is pavlova. He loves pavlova. Amy, my bread pudding is an 1800 recipe. The way you see things, all different versions of bread pudding. Yeah, my so his first try went very fast. Who ate it? You and who else? Kelly, are you put off by the taste testing? No, I'm never put off by the taste testing, but I will have to see how it looks. I would be put off by the look of something rather than the taste of something, if that makes sense. Bread pudding should never be dry. That is true. I hate recipes and their guidelines. Oh, really? Okay. Mark will taste it. Yeah, he's a lover of bread pudding. Me, not so much. I was scarred a little bit when I was younger. But if it's made with brioche or what you call it, brioche or croissant, I will taste it. But if it's made with normal bread, that's more Mark's thing. My sister's cake are a work of art. She used to have her own business. Wow. My niece is the queen of cakes. Nothing beats her cakes. Her sponge cakes are divine. Oh, bless her. It's nice when young people sort of like do their, cooking and baking. And I really don't like cooking. I'll cook, but I really don't enjoy it. I really don't like it. I don't mind baking. Baking's okay. I will just get on and I'll bake a cake. And I like it when people enjoy my cake, or my baking or whatever. Like I made, I remember, so my mum was doing something. I think, what was she doing around at her house? She was doing something, and she said to me, "Oh, make sure I bring, make sure I bake a cake." But she thought I was going to do pineapple upside down cake, but I didn't. I did cherry crumble, and she was like, "Oh," she was disappointed. She was like, "Oh." Anyway, when she started eating the cherry crumble, I was like, "Oh." But she's eating it. Oh, okay. And she's eating the cherry crumble. So yeah, everyone, even my nephew, enjoyed the cherry crumble. So I was pleased with that. But it was just like a quick thing. It wasn't anything that needed any specific work doing to it. But yeah, I like to bake the chocolate cake because it's really easy to do, and it has real chocolate in it. So it's not like cocoa powder and stuff. So I do like to do the chocolate cake often because it's just so quick to do. And you don't need as many, like you don't really need the mixer and stuff like that. You only really need the mixer when you're doing the frosting at the end. But other than that, you don't need your beaters and your this, and you can just do it in one pot, and it's just so much easier. Um, my sister-in-law makes a bagging cake. I don't even know what that is. I'm looking for someone to make me a gluten-free cake for my 18th. Um, is it so hard to find? Do you know what? There are some shops that you can get like gluten-free cakes, but also if your mum does bake, you can buy gluten-free flour and then use that. Bread pudding, I've tasted all types of bread. Some have strong flour and some bitter. Yeah, I'm not down with the bitter. All down to the bread. That's why I like different types. Bread pudding can never be compared. Oh, really? Um, uh, everyone's taste buds are very different. I trust no reviews. My taste buds love super sour. I hate sweet. Yuck. This is true. Everyone's opinion is different. Like Mark does, like, because like he likes coffee and things like that. So he does have that bitter sort of taste buds in him. So like he likes coffee. He likes sour sweets and things like that. I'm like, when he's eating them sweets, even when he's eating them sweets and I'm watching him, I'm thinking, it makes my mouth tingle because I'm just thinking, no, that's not for me. Like sour sweets and stuff, no. The world's super sour sweet on a live. Oh my word, that is going to be awful. Sour, no, sour's not for me. Yeah, she can't bake at the moment due to health issues. The only place I can find is West London places. Let me have a look, because I'm sure there's loads of places where I've seen gluten-free cake, loads, and I'm sure you can just order one online to be delivered. When's your birthday, Amy? Normals are boring. Normals are boring. But yeah, I remember my mum wanted me to bake her a sugar-free cake. So because like sometimes she does like the keto and stuff like that, where you can't have sugar in the cakes and stuff. And so she bought some stevia so that I could sweeten it with stevia, but I never actually got round to making it. But you can get things like coconut sugar as well. But gluten-free, yeah, I swear I've seen there are a number of pastry shops where I've seen they've done gluten-free, and I'm just trying to think. Let me have a little think, and if I come across anything, try oh god, what's the place called? Conditor and Cook. Try Conditor and Cook. I don't know if they do. I always see gluten-free brownies everywhere. Like I feel like gluten-free brownies are a popular thing. But it depends if you like brownies, to be quite honest. I'm just having a look. Gluten-free cake. I swear I've seen loads of them. Yeah, Lola's Cupcakes do one. They do a gluten-free birthday cake, funnily enough. They do a red velvet one. There's a place called Positive Bakes. There's a place called Candy's Cupcakes, Yumbles. Um, oh, Sponge do one, and I order from Sponge quite often. Sponge.co.uk. They also do gluten-free chocolate and caramel cake. So you could all go to the Sponge website and take a look at their ones. Go to Lola's Cupcakes. I don't know if they do delivery, but they do gluten-free vegan fudge cake and other birthday cakes and stuff. I don't know about Cutter and Squidge, but Cutter and Squidge has popped up. I've ordered from Cutter and Squidge before. And GC Couture. GC Couture. They also do a gluten and dairy-free vanilla cake. So there's quite a few places that do gluten-free cakes. It's just that I knew I'd come across quite a few places that did do it. Kelly, I found my first exhibition dates. It is in West London, end of September. Was meant to put banging cake. Oh right, I was thinking, what's a banging cake? Meaning great, yeah. I know what banging means, but when it was bagging, I thought, oh, is that a type of cake that I've not heard of? Like homity pie. I'd never heard of homity pie. And we went to the Crypt in London, and they did homity pie. Never heard of it before. So I thought, like, when you said a bagging cake, I thought, oh, is that some type of cake I've not heard of? But yeah, a banging cake, yeah. 5th of June. Okay, yeah, because I think when Angelina was on, she's in Australia, so she might. I don't think she'll be on today because I know it's like early hours of the morning in Australia. But I think she's coming in June, but I can't remember what date she said she was coming in June. You want cake now? I think everybody wants cake. I've got to be honest. Ha 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 ha. Amy used to be. Richard used to be gluten free as well. How come, Richard? I expect everyone to say HB to me now. What's HB? Say, oh, happy birthday. Sorry. You expect everyone to say happy birthday to you now. Well, it's not quite June yet. But yes, when it does reach June, we shall make sure we say happy birthday. Have to ask my mum where she got the gluten-free products. Haha, only joking. I'm having cake and custard for dinner right now. Really, M&S Victoria Sponge. Do you know what? M&S Victoria Sponge, I've got to be honest, I do like a lot of M&S cakes. I really do. Mark's favourite cake is the rainbow cake from M&S. He absolutely loves that. But I know Evelyn won't like it because it's got hundreds and thousands on it. And I know Evelyn doesn't like anything that's all crunchy and things like that. So, you know, like sometimes I'll put like gold, like sugar sprinkles on it and on my cakes and stuff. But Evelyn doesn't like the texture of the crunchiness against her tea. She doesn't like that sort of thing. I can't imagine Evelyn having cold custard. She would have hot custard, I reckon. Amy was in my teen years. Could not be gluten lunch sometimes at school. Felt left out. Having your own food. Yeah, I had it for about 3 years. Do you know what? Sometimes it's difficult when you're in school and you can't have the same as the other kids and stuff like that. I used to want packed lunches because my mum would put in a little penguin for me and stuff like that. So I quite actually liked mine. Yeah, it's crazy. I think, yeah, when you're treated differently, but you want to be normal, and I say normal because no one's truly normal. Normal is subjective, I guess, but I suppose society's version of normal. It can be quite difficult. It can be very difficult, I feel. Not now, Evelyn, but thanks. Ha ha ha. Hot custard, yummy. Yeah, I thought so. I can't imagine Evelyn eating cold custard. Although, if anybody does go to Borough Market or Spitalfields Market and has Humble Crumble, the frozen custard is amazing. Frozen custard on a hot crumble. It was too good. Too good. Too good. And I had the cherry berry crumble. Oh, God, that was so good. Mark and I are going to go again, and I'm going to video it again. It was so good because we were cold at the time, and I don't think that was the best time to enjoy the frozen custard. But when it gets a bit hotter, I'm going to go there again, and I'm going to actually enjoy humble crumble with that frozen custard. It's going to be so good. I'm going to take a day off in the week and go down when everyone else is at work, and I'm going to try and get there either before lunchtime or after lunchtime and enjoy that crumble with the frozen custard. Oh, my mouth is already watering. I can't wait. Oh, Touche, you love cold custard. Could eat it straight out of the pot. Do you know what? If we buy the M&S one, Mark will eat it straight out of the pot. It's the Madagascar vanilla one that they do. They normally do it like at a special time. So like whether that be Christmas or New Year or something like that. And Mark will eat it straight out. The Madagascar vanilla, he'll eat it straight out the pot, cold like that. I don't mind it. But yeah, I prefer the sauce anglaise, which is custard. But you know, you get them in the fruit tarts. So when you get like the strawberry fruit tarts, and it's in that that pastry, and it's like a sweet pastry, and it's got all the custard cream. Oh, that's too good. I really like that. I really like eating that. Yeah, so good. I've always packed lunch no matter where I go. I'm special, and I own these. Whoop whoop. And you own this, you mean? It didn't bother me. I used to ask for packed lunch. I wasn't that enamored. Like, don't get me wrong, I did like some school lunches, but to be quite honest, having sandwiches with my little penguin was good enough for me. Now my diet has to be filled with fiber every morning, right? Doctor's orders. Okay. Normal is a setting on a washing machine. Exactly. Society's idea of normal is not my idea of normal, but that's a conversation we can have now or another time. But yeah, I don't always agree with what society deems as normal, but there we go. Amy, in my teen years, as gluten-free choices back then were small compared to today. Yeah, exactly. I feel like even being vegetarian, I feel like back then was probably very difficult. Now there's so much. Like I'm the last person to be vegetarian, but I'm carnivore all the way. But I tell you this, there are some dishes that Mark has, like when we go to restaurants and stuff, and I'm just like, I think I prefer that to the dish that I'm eating right now. Like there are like we went to Blacklock, which is. So I've put a premiere up, guys. The Blacklock will be available tomorrow to watch. But what you call it? When we went there, I've got to say their sweet potato was the best thing. Like Blacklock is good, right? Value for money and stuff like that. Blacklock is really, really good. But I didn't think it was all. I've got to say, like the flavors and stuff like that. Flavors were good in that, I guess. But the quality. The meat, when you cut into it and stuff like that, it wasn't the best. I felt that, but that's just personal opinion. But I tell you what, it was £24 all in, and you got like pork belly, you got pork chop, you got lamb chop, you got steak, you got 2 slim pieces of bread that soaks up all the juices. And then you got a side included, and I picked the sweet potato. And then you got these 3 little bites. Included in on the, it was like I want to call it an aperitif, but an aperitif is after. It's like a almost like a starter, I guess, like these tiny little starters. And I think all of that for £24, it was really, really. So if you like want to go to eat in London and stuff like that, you don't know what to have, there'll be a 12.5% discretionary charge, but it's discretionary, so you pay it or you don't pay, that's up to you. But to have all of that for £24, I thought was really, really good value for money. Really good value. Mark's one was so there was only one. When we went before, there was 2 vegetarian options, but when we went this time, there was only 1 vegetarian option, and it was a much better vegetarian option than the last one that he had, and it looked really good. But he had to pay for the potato. But the 3 sort of things at the beginning, they were included in his dish as well. And his one cost, was it £14, £16, something like that. And I just thought that's such good value for money. And then He ordered on the side extra was a broccoli and walnut salad, and the potato was what he ordered extra. But the whole bill came to, for the two of us, including the charge, and I had a hibiscus drink, which was only okay, it was all right. But it came to £57. Now I think that, like, for the two of us, £57 and some change for the two of us, and we got quite a bit of food for that. Although the portion size, I felt, even like if it was me eating it, I felt was quite small with regards to the vegetarian option. And I think they should like change this. So like, do you want a regular? Do you want a large? And then charge accordingly. Like, you could have a regular, a medium, and a large, and then charge the dishes accordingly, with, because they only do one dish. They only do one vegetarian dish. So I think that they could then say, right, well, we do small, medium, and large, and like, what one would you like? And then he probably would have opted for the large. But yeah, I think value for money was really, really good. Whether you're into the taste of it, that is another thing, but it was okay. Ambrosia is the best brand. With regards to the custard, I'm going to have to disagree. Try the Madagascar vanilla M&S one. You will change your mind. I promise you, you will change your mind. My new fridge and freezer comes tomorrow. Did you figure out what you were doing with the old one? Which company are you going through? Are they taking it away? Yes, you're vegetarian and gluten-free. You are special. You are everyone's very special. You are very special. Yes, Mark is pescatarian rather than vegetarian, but in this place they do one vegetarian option. They used to do two, but now they do one. But I think, I mean, Mark's one looked absolutely delicious. His vegetarian option just wasn't big enough, but his vegetarian option was absolutely delicious. It was really good. And like I said, for the price that we paid for Central London, was really, really good. But yeah, we've got Black Clock on there, and then that we. Do you know where else we went? I won't tell you until we advertise it. But yeah, I'll see. Imagine saying you're vegetarian in a class of 18-year-olds. The stares you get is unreal. Do you know what? Like, sorry, evenings at Borough Market tomorrow. Champagne and donuts for lunch. Oh, I feel jealous already. Champagne and donuts. Wow. I'm not really a champagne person, as you know, though, but the donuts part is that, I'd have something sparkly, like, I don't know, like a J2O spritz or something, just so that I can be part of the bubbles. It's true. Do you know what? Like, if you were vegetarian in my family, they'd look at you go. It'd be silence. You'd be like tumbleweed. Yeah, I'm vegetarian. Yeah, that's how it is in my family. There's not many, and like in my family, I don't know of. In my family, I don't know anybody who's vegetarian. It's only the partners that are, like, some of them are vegetarian, some of them are pescatarian. Like some of them are, they don't, that, like, my cousin's wife, she will eat chicken, and that's about it. I think she might eat bacon. She does eat fish. She might eat bacon, I think, but she doesn't eat anything. She doesn't like big bits of meat like steak or lamb or anything like that. She's not a lover of that type of thing. But yeah, I remember when I had another friend and she was actually vegetarian. And my mum's like, why are you bringing these people here? Because, like, my mum, back in the day, my mum would panic, like, what is she going to give these people? And so she would think to herself, oh, maybe salad. Because in your mind, you're thinking, well, what does a vegetarian eat? Well, anything that is not meat, basically. But it would send people into a panic, because normally when you do your dinner traditionally, it's, meat and potatoes, pretty much. And so, oh, I'm vegetarian. What am I giving her? Just potatoes? It'd be like, what? She's just going to have potatoes? And that. So it'd be like, it's funny that way, kind of thing. But now you look at it, it's just the normal thing in the world to be vegetarian. So I'm surprised that you're the only person in your class, Amy, that is vegetarian. I'm flexitarian. Not every day is a meat day. Do you know what? I would like to be a flexitarian. I think I will lean towards maybe more and more being a flexitarian, I think. Um, but yeah, I think I will have to think about it a bit more, but I can imagine myself becoming a flexitarian. My brother's a flexitarian, um, but I don't know if his version of flexitarian is substituting the meat for fish or whether he just has vegetables. I'll have to ask him. I've never eaten out in a restaurant in London, except Pizza Hut, and that was rubbish. Oh dear. There are other better vegetarian places, or there are other better places that serve vegetarian food that you can try. Um, I don't have much of a childhood. Kelly, yummy me, exactly. I haven't been on holiday since 2016. Wow, that's a long time. I think the last time I went on a proper holiday, not counting Brussels, but like a proper holiday, like, a week or two somewhere, is probably, yeah, pre-pandemic 2019, probably. Um, Amy, I've not been away since 2018, just day trips. Yeah, pretty much day trips. We did do Brussels, and we did Bruges and Ghent. More of a city break rather than an actual holiday, but it was a nice trip. I'm not gonna lie, it was nice to be away. My sister got me a Burger King. My sister is the best. Oh, your sister is the best. I'm not a Burger King lover, by the way. They used to do Chicken Royale. I don't know if they still do it. That's pretty much the only thing I'd eat in Burger King, to be quite honest. My new fridge freezer is a Hoover. Oh wow. It's a smart one. Wow. Comes with a drawer that can switch. Comes with a drawer can switch from fridge to freezer. Oh, right. So the drawer itself can be switched from fridge to freezer. Oh, okay. My new photography project is documentary photography. Wow. Um, so what type of documentary photography though? Is it something like you're taking pictures of people, or is it going to be of a specific object, like a tree or something like that, or plants or something? Drink booze and have cake. Well, seems like a really good night. Booze and cake sounds like Evelyn's kind of night. I'm not gonna lie. Booze and cake, or chocolate and booze. What is everyone's talent? Touche McBoosh, Pineapple, Evelyn Otako, and Richard's Adventures. What is everyone's talent? What an interesting question. I love it. In 2016, that was only a weekend away in Clacton. Better than nothing, I guess. Yes. Do you know what? Just sometimes it's nice to sort of get away. I'm doing the King coronation and the May Day protests. Oh wow, they're really interesting subjects, actually. I don't even think about the May Day protests, but yeah, I mean, I suppose because I'm in my own little world at home normally. But I remember doing temping at one point, and it was around Christmas? It must have been around Christmas. But during that time, like, everybody was going out for Christmas, like their Christmas lunch or what, and I was on my own in the office. Like, there was absolutely no one in the office. It's just me picking up phones. Like, sorry, the person's not here. Sorry, the person's not here. Sorry, the person's not here. And they all went out. But there was riots that day. It was quite crazy. That was one Christmas, like one Christmas time, not Christmas, but one Christmas sort of like at that time. Yeah, there was like riots going on, and there was delays in trains and all sorts. Quite crazy. Um, uh, my talent is binge watching shows. Although, Evelyn, your talent is acting as well. That is how Evelyn and I met. We met in an acting class. We were doing a course together. Evelyn, yeah. I like to craft and knit. Wow, what's yours, Amy? True. What is your Amy does photography. What are people's thoughts on teachers' strikes? Do you know what? I just feel like we're in a cost of living crisis, and no one is getting paid their money. Do you know what I mean? And I just feel like we should, like, in general, everybody should be paid a fair wage in line with this cost of living. Why are shareholders grabbing up all the money? Why are these board of directors or shareholders or all of these other people who aren't on the ground collecting all this money? Like, pay your people, pay your nurses, pay your teachers. Do you know what I mean? Pay these pensions, pay the people who are working on like the train. Because the thing is, I feel like the news sometimes doesn't report everything that it should. And I think that you think, oh God, yeah, I can't get my train to wherever. How inconvenient. Yes, it is inconvenient. It is horrible. I've had to go through it where, you're leaving work at 5 and you're not getting home till sometimes like 7 or 9 o'clock sometimes. Do you know what I mean? At night. And yes, it's awful. And yes, it's horrible. And yes, you're trying to get home and all of that type of stuff. But equally, I have to respect people that are fighting for their rights, because too much, I feel like, the government can hike up prices for this, or something can be hiked up for that, or private investors can hike up for this, but you're not getting the service. And the people who are delivering the service aren't even getting paid properly. And it's just a madness. And I just feel like just pay your workers. I think every company just pay a fair wage. And I don't mean the minimum wage. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not talking about like £10, whatever it is an hour. I'm talking about a proper wage where everybody can actually afford a mortgage type wage. That's the wages I'm talking about, where people can actually afford to pay mortgage, not these back streets, £10 business and all of that. Who can afford their mortgage on that? Unless your mortgage is coming to the very end and you can afford to take some type of a pay cut, so you can be paid £10 or whatever an hour. But like, pay a fair wage. Do you know what I mean? You're doing a job, you're doing a service, you're doing whatever it is. Like, just be paid a fair wage. All of these poor students who are having to take out loans and God knows what because their part-time jobs aren't even paying them the normal money so they can actually pay for their school fees and stuff. I don't know. I feel like the world is crazy. It's not just this country, it's the world. The world is crazy. What are people's thoughts on teacher strikes? You're double jointed from the waist up, are you? Flexible waist down, LOL. I have many talents. Wow. Custom Lego builds, yes. Good at art. I make film props. Wow. Can show you later, Amy. I run and walk. Yes, you do. I came third in the 24-hour race. Wow. I mix music and invest. What do you invest in? Just out of interest. Blame EM. Blame who? Who's EM? I'm guessing you are Labour. Ah ha 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 ha. I do come from a family of workers, of tradespeople, of electricians and electricians and carpenters. Mainly carpentry though. And I do believe in the working man. I just believe in paying people. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, everyone. I don't want to see any. Like, I feel like, why should students have to take out loans to go to university? That's a madness to me. So you have to be in debt before you even start work. This is how this country thinks. Do you know what I mean? So basically, you have to be in debt and you have to pay back the debt that you've got to just to get an education. That's madness to me. That is madness. That's brilliant, Richard. Yeah, I'm learning 5 languages at once, but I am rubbish at it. Oh dear. You'll get there. Just keep plodding. You'll get there. I draw a lot, mostly landmarks, a lot of London. Oh, really? And I'm learning Japanese. Wow. Japanese, it would be really difficult. But I think maybe, I don't know what would be harder, Chinese or Japanese, because I feel like in Chinese, Cantonese or Mandarin, it's the sound. I remember because I used to work with a couple of girls that actually spoke, some spoke Cantonese and some spoke Mandarin. And it's the sound. So that if you make a certain position of the sound, it can mean something completely different. So it's all on sound. So I feel like that would be quite interesting and difficult to learn. Difficult to learn the sounds. Maybe not difficult to learn the words, but difficult to learn the sounds for each word. That would be difficult. Oh, and you make things out of clay. I make mini items. Wow. I collect to make an investment. you make an invest, you collect to make an invest. Oh right, I see. So you buy stuff so that you can invest it. Yeah. He invests into Star Wars props. Only joking. Hey Charlie, how are you? Got 52 subscribers now. Wow, wow, wow. Charlie, how's it going? um, I can say how are you in Cantonese. Oh really? Charlie Darby's Adventures 3. How many how many followers? He's got 52. Did you say 52? Let me go back. Yeah, 50. He's got 52 subscribers. I invest in many things, but what can I say? Got as counted yesterday, 103 first edition comics. Wow. Do you know what though? I feel like as time goes on, like investments is probably going to be the way to go. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the I don't even know how anybody will be able to buy property these days. I've got to be honest. To buy property is crazy. To even get on the property ladder is madness. And now they're raising the age of they're raising the working age because people are living longer. People are daring to take care of themselves and living longer. How dare they? And now all the pension that they've paid into, they'll be able to claim it. How dare they? Let's raise the retirement age. It's madness. This is just complete and utter madness. So now you have to work longer. I think you have to get your mortgage at a certain age because you can only take it over a certain amount of time. Like it's crazy. I'm going to live on a farm with farting cows. And destroy the ozone layer with farting cows because that's what destroys the ozone layer. Did you know that? Farting cows. Well, you must do because that's why you said farting cows. Joke. Cheese is overrated in prices. Yeah, I'm now cheesed off. Oh dear. Mark loves cheese. I've got to be honest. So does my mum. Like they'll eat it in cubes and all sorts. I can't eat cheese in cubes. That is just crazy. But yeah, Mark and my mum. And like Mark likes the Stilton cheese, and sometimes he puts it on his eggs, or he'll put Emmental on his eggs, and then he'll toast it in like he'll melt it in the grill, and it stinks the whole house out. It really does stink. I'm not like I like cheese, but I like thin. But I'm very plain in my taste. I like thin slices of normal cheddar, like not extra mature or whatever. Mature cheddar is fine. Red Leicester's okay. I don't eat it very often. I can't tell you the last time I had Red Leicester. I like the creamy cheeses. So I like, Philadelphia, La Roulette. What's the other one? I do like cranberry Wensleydale, quite like that. But yeah, I'm not a lover of loads of cheeses. You look like a farmer, to be honest, really. Richard's Farm Adventures. But yeah, I feel like, yeah, I don't know what's going to happen in a few years' time. Do you know what I mean? I wonder if I can't imagine the prices of things to be lowered because once companies know that you'll pay those prices, they're not going to lower them. Does that make sense? So we'll never get to a point where it's going to be lowered. So it's only going to be a point of where they have to raise the wages to meet the to meet the cost of things. WhatsApp is like WhatsApp. That's true. Love some cheese, Evelyn. Yes, you do cheese and grapes or strawberries and stuff. Say cheese. Amy, you do have oh right, so Richard has green fingers. Do you know what I mean? I'm not like Mark and I are not green fingered at all. Like Mark will do sort of like he will plant the stuff and everything else, but I'm still waiting for things to grow. So like he planted peonies or peonies, however you want to pronounce them, in the garden, and two of them do blossom, but they don't like it when they're moved, so they die, and then they blossom the following year. Like we only get out of the ones we planted, like 3 or 4, and out of the 3 or 4 that we planted, we only get about 3 or 4 peonies. We don't get that many. So now the bush is getting bigger, right? So you got all the leaves and stuff coming out, but like no real flowers coming out. So it's a bit of a shame, really. But the Indian summer that we planted that a few years ago now. Like that's just like that springs every year, and it like comes out on its own. It's really come into its own. It's really lovely thing to see, actually, the Indian summer. You're moving to Thailand or Africa? Wow. Are you an alien, Richard? What are you? Mark is home. Yes, he is. He is. As you can see behind here, he is.
I just grabbed some chips.
So he's going to enjoy the last half an hour with us. So how was...
This is the first time you've seen me in this shirt. Hello, everybody. Bossman Mark. No, I wish I was a Bossman Mark. Oh, thank you.
Very welcome.
So, sorry, guys, as well. The train has been absolutely... So I had, there was problems on the Piccadilly line.
Wow.
Then that was delayed. It was stuck in the tunnel for ages. Then on the train back, hi Touche, hi Amy, hi Richard, hi Evelyn, hi everybody. Are these ready to friend?
I don't know, have a look. These were the ones I picked up in Swindon. So these berry ones are... That's good, because if they were veggie, I wouldn't see any of them. You'd eat them all. But it's all right, you can have the crisps.
So yeah, massive delays today on the train. So hence the reason why I'm a bit late. Well, very late. I should have been back an hour ago.
Yeah.
So
but sometimes these things happen.
London trains don't get me started, Celine. No, totally. Do you know what? So the Piccadilly line was completely... We just stuck in the tunnel. And they said, oh, there's signalling problems. I Instagrammed you a headless sheep in foil. Oh, God.
Let's have a look.
Is this some kind of food? I know you, because you can't eat sheep's head in foil. Yeah.
Headless sheep in foil. Okay.
So
Shall I show it? Would you like me to show it?
It's not actually a sheep. It's in the shape of a sheep.
Yeah. Headless sheep, in foil.
So what have you guys been talking about?
So I've been complaining about the ULEZ expanding that, and the reasons why I think they're expanding it.
Show it, says Richard.
All right. There you go. The headless sheep in foil.
Amy said, last time I was in London, someone was walking on the tracks and there were major delays. This is the thing. So what this was it was a signal failure by the Piccadilly line. So we were just sat there waiting, and it just signal failed. So that was about 20 minutes, just stuck on the train. It has a body, Richard. And then we got to I got to King's Cross, and then all the trains were delayed, all of them. So by the time I got home, like I said, I've just got home now. I left at 5 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we know, so yeah, apologies.
It almost takes me back to when, do you remember when they were cancelling all the trains all the time?
No.
And it was taking forever to get home from work. That was crazy.
Amy, it's Sheepy. Is that the name of the sheep?
But yeah, so I was complaining about the ULEZ zone needles, because now that my tooth has come out,
Oh no!
I have to go and get needles, I suppose, to numb the gum, because I'm assuming they're going to cut the gum and then lever out the tooth.
Thanks, Amy. She said I'm excused.
Oh.
I'm allowed. Thank you, guys. Yeah, so apologies. It's been a bit of a real nightmare getting
I can take my glasses off now.
Yeah. And there was me thinking as well, oh, I'll make it for the live. How great is that?
So, yeah. So, what else were we talking about? We were talking about cakes and bread and butter pudding.
Oh,
Now, I know you would like bread and butter pudding.
Just a bit hyper, says Richard. I did like your live, Richard. We did watch your live when you were doing your dancing.
And I was talking about how your mum always used to cook and bake. You know, and your favourite is pavlova, but she always did. But you don't mind it when fruit is like a bit sour or sharp. No. You think it fits in well with.
So who was a bread and butter pudding fan?
Amy.
Oh, Amy.
Amy.
If you make it, Amy, try it with croissant rather than bread.
This is what I was talking about.
You see, great minds.
I said that I wouldn't try normal bread and butter pudding, but I would try bread and butter pudding if it was made with brioche or if it was made with croissant.
Which is that I never get drunk on drink. I get overly excited. My dance video proves that. I thought you were drinking Jack Daniels. I saw a Jack Daniels glass. That's why I thought you were drinking Jack Daniels and Coke.
I think he's drinking a stout tonight.
Oh, are you?
From Brewdog.
Oh, you're on the brew today. Quite literally.
And Evelyn is going to be up on market tomorrow, so she's going to have champagne and donuts.
Oh, nice.
Well, not the champagne part, but the donuts part. I'm like, oh, it'd be nice to have the donuts part.
Amy says she gets high on water. I've got serious problems.
It's just your age.
Yeah.
You got a lot of energy at that age.
I think I mentioned that as well. So I did read somewhere that they said the younger generation, so Amy, your age group, aren't interested in booze as much. That's not to say nobody young likes booze, but it's not as popular.
Yeah, and I think there's not as big a pub culture.
No.
Like I had friends that were in the pubs. I didn't really understand that because I've never really been a pub person. And a lot of people in my family are not pub people. But a lot of my friends were always in the pub. There was like a real pub culture, but I didn't really understand it. And I don't understand pub crawls.
Oh.
Like if I'm having a good time in a pub, not that I ever really did because I didn't really go to many pubs. I didn't want to crawl to another one.
Well, Amy can do a water crawl.
Yeah, she could. Which establishment serves the best water?
Yeah. So I do want to do my little coffee crawl at some point for the video.
Yeah, I know, but I've been asking you, do you want it to do it all in one day, or do you want to do it over a couple of days?
Oh, I think I'll do it in one day and then not sleep that night. My older nephew tried cider for the first time. He spat it out saying, "Gone off apples." Well, this is it. Do you know what? It's not. It's like it's an acquired taste. It really is something you've got to get used to.
Yeah, like your brother and your dad like cider.
Oh yeah. But that's a West Country thing.
Yeah, I don't mind like a Recorderlig or Koppelberg, but I'm not really a cider person per se.
Some cider inside.
Cider, but I'm not really an alcohol person anyway.
So did you? Sorry, I was going to change the subject slightly. Did you tell everybody about our premiere coming up?
Yeah, everybody would have seen the premiere by now. I mean, not watched it, but I actually. So when I was setting up the live, it gives you the option to put it as a trailer.
Ah.
So I've actually put the premiere as a trailer. So I don't know how it works. I just thought that'd be quite interesting to do it as a trailer and see what happens. So I set it up as a trailer.
Amy said, "My generation are just something else." You're unique, and that's good.
I feel like this generation lends itself more to how I used to be while I was growing up.
Yeah.
Like I had friends that were like really into like, you know, alcohol and smoking and whatever else and blah, blah, blah. And I think this generation was more how I was when I was growing up, which was I wasn't into all the drinking. Although I loved going dancing. So I loved going raves and things I didn't like raves, sorry, but I liked going to clubs. I was one for going to a club and dancing. And I never drank because I never liked alcohol. I never liked the taste of it and stuff like that. But I was all for going out and just party, dance. And my cousin was exactly the same. But I've never been one for like, you know, all the drinking and smoking and whatever. I've never been that. So I feel like this generation, other than the ticketed events, because everywhere's a ticketed event these days. And I'm just like, what?
That's how they make their money.
I'm going to an event. So other than that part, I think this generation lends itself more because they're not really into, they're more into discovering things.
Yeah.
And that's how I was. Like, I loved going on holiday. I loved going with my friends. I liked, do you know what I mean, going to discover new places. But what I also found was a lot of my friends couldn't afford to go on holiday or couldn't afford to do this because they weren't in a position to. I started work very early, and a couple of them, even though they worked as well, they weren't earning a lot of money and stuff like that. So they found it a bit more difficult to be able to go away and do things. So yeah.
Richard said cider is not the best. Going back to cider drinks, I like bitter drinks. So when you say bitter, drinks that are bitter, or do you just like bitter, but as in a form of lager? Amy said, I saw it this morning, being our premiere. Richard said, I saw your premiere, going to tune in. Oh, good. Please do, guys. Yeah, really appreciate that. So we hope you like it. So we went to Blacklock, which is in central London, which does traditional roast dinner. So you're going to have a little look at this. Now, this is a slight different roast dinner. You'll see why when you see it.
I've been talking about it.
Okay, Richard said, today's fashion, why are they bringing back what I used to wear? Lol. No progress then, lol. Then again, things get repeated. Do you know what?
Do.
Fashion is very cyclical. It comes back in a cycle very, very often. I remember about 20 years ago, all flares were back in fashion. My parents said they never, ever thought they would see that back in fashion.
Yeah. Boot-cut jeans and things like that. And you're like,
Richard said, I see men wearing jack-ups. Why uncool?
Gilets. Gilets were popular when I was little. But we used to call it body warmers. Everybody had a body warmer. But now gilets are back.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I got a
gilet.
gilet. Yeah. Amy said, I don't do any of that. I am not a normal person, to be honest. I haven't seen or met friends since August. It's not that you're not normal, you're just unique.
Yeah.
Everybody's unique and individual. So like I said, never think you're not normal, you're just unique. You like what you like. And what's good,
exactly,
you don't follow the herd. You do what you want to do. For many years, I was never really into pub culture. I never really liked it, but I only did it because all my mates did it. So I followed the herd. So just be your individual self. Amy said, don't get me started on fashion. All we talk about in photography lessons. Oh, really?
I suppose that's what's part of it. Well, not everyone, but for a lot of people, I suppose maybe that's the field that they might want to go in.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is that your sort of field? Because I always thought you preferred landscapes. I didn't realise that fashion photography is something that you like to do. Or is it not something you like to do? Is it just something that the others like to do and you have to talk about it?
I think it's something that the others like to do.
And Rich said he's got a sewing machine. I still need me a few things. Oh, do you actually do? Can you use it? Or have you used it?
I know you were styling a helmet, weren't you? Because you were making a helmet to go. Is it for London Film and Comic Con, the Boba Fett one that you're making?
Amy said, "Oh, fashion is big with photography." Yeah, I know. But you hate fashion, but your tutor is obsessed. Well, do you know what? Like I said, there's so many photography things you can go down. You know, people's landscapes,
food photography,
but also objects as well.
Food photography is quite big, actually.
Look at PPR journal. All right, I shall have a little look at that. So we're just munching, Chris, while we're talking to you. We'll have a look at that PPR journal. Have a little look. Richard said, plans to make full Mandalorian outfit. The full outfit. Wow. Oh my God, you're making the full outfit, even including the helmet. That's the iconic thing. Are you going to buy the helmet and just make the suit? If you can do that, that's really impressive. An entire Mandalorian outfit. That would be so impressive. Right. We're just having a look. PPR journal.
Philosophy and phenomenological. Phenomenological research.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah. Phenomenological. Philosophy and phenomenological research.
Oh my God, Richard's going to do the whole thing, including the helmet.
That's what I said.
But that's really impressive. Are you making the helmet actually out of fabric, or is it going to be a solid thing? Are you at least going to use some solid things for the helmet?
Oh, I feel like you said, was it cardboard? Like, because he's already got one he can model it from.
Yeah. So Richard said he's got the template. If I do it so well, I might tell you the helmet. Okay. So you're going to actually make the helmet yourself. That's really impressive.
Yeah, because I was like looking at it thinking, wow.
Now, the helmet you can buy, but it is hundreds. It costs a lot of money.
Which is what he was saying, because I said, well, why don't you just get a plastic one? But he doesn't like the feel or look of a plastic one.
You can buy the metal one, but it is a couple of hundred.
Yeah, but that's what he doesn't want to do. So he's going to make it.
Wow. If you can make that out of metal, I'll be really impressed. Oh, yeah, that's right.
No, he's not going to make it out of metal.
Cardboard?
I think so. I can't remember what material you said you were going to use, but I want to say it's cardboard you're making it out
Yeah,
of.
a lot of massive box. I'd imagine that as well, because you're making it from the flat out templates. Then you've got to shape and mold it in order to make sure for the size of the
There
helmet.
must be a template online.
Hmm.
There will be a template online.
Well, I struggle with the cookie cutting. So when I was looking at the Ghostbusters thing, they got all the templates. I thought, I'm never going to be able to make this. We're going to have to make some stuff for May the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking that as well. So for May the 4th, Star Wars Day, May the 4th be with you.
Mm-hmm.
We will need to do a little. So I have made quite a few recipes from the Star Wars cookbook. So I'm going to have another look at them.
I don't know when you're going to have time, though.
Have to do this weekend.
Yeah.
I need to buy a lot of things. Black foam is the main part.
Right.
So where are you going to get? Are you going to a haberdashery to get all this stuff? Or are you going to be getting it all online?
Yeah, because there's a few haberdasheries around
No.
that you can go to. I don't know how it is in Essex, though.
Right. So Amy said, basically, PPR Journal is my teacher's fashion magazine that is released in Japan, France, Berlin, and many more places. Right. When you say it's her fashion magazine, does she own it or is she a contributor to it? And I'm going to say, if she is doing that...
He or she?
Yeah, he or she. I thought you... Oh, sorry, I thought it was... yeah, I assumed it was a she. I thought you said she. But yeah, if they're mega obsessed, I was going to say as well, that's going to be all they talk about.
Mm. Yeah, when somebody's obsessed...
Oh, it's a man. Sorry, it's a guy. So it's so if he is obsessed with it, that's all he's going to be talking about.
It's funny because you naturally assumed it was a woman.
Oh no! Do you know what I thought somewhere?
But I naturally assumed it was a man.
Really?
Yeah.
You know what I thought I did? Because I thought Amy said she in there somewhere, but obviously not.
I think because with fashion, because there are a lot of males that are very interested in fashion. I think more than women.
Really?
Yeah. So that's why in my mind I was thinking man, not woman. But it's funny.
If you look at his website, you will see him.
Okay.
Japan fashion, don't get me started.
Oh, dear.
Why is that? So is it you just really don't like the fashion thing at all? Or is it the industry itself?
Is it PRP edition?
Yeah, that looks like it because it's P, capital P, small p, R.
Right. Okay.
Richard said, I still got to make London Underground stop on my train layout from scratch. Only headache is finding companies specialising in underground bodies and wheels. Where are you actually going to be able to do that? Do you know what would be brilliant, Richard? Because I know you've done your train set already. I've seen your train set on your YouTube channel. What would be cool is if you could have that raised and then underneath you build the underground. That would look so good. So you actually have the underground running underneath your rail station. That would look amazing if you could do that.
Let me go to the about page.
So you could actually fashion all the underground just in big tubes. So you could actually buy piping or something and have that as the underground. Oh my God, Japan, like J-pop twice and Blackpink. What's that?
Yeah, because they like all of that. They like all that anime sort of culture and that isn't it that what them heads called? They're called pop something.
Amy said, Kelly, do you see a man and a woman? First thing you click on the website.
No, it just came up with PR. It just came up with
PRP editions.
Yeah, and then it's come up with that. And I went to the about page, but there's nothing on the about page.
Oh, Richard said baby metal are cool. I've not seen that. Vaughan, hello. How are you? Mark, do you find delays exhausting? Last time due to relaxation and joining us. Oh God, do you know what? it's one of those things. I'm lucky I don't have to go in every day, but I don't know how I did it. I honestly, Vaughan, I don't know how I did it. This used to be a regular occurrence.
Yeah.
And I used to get the underground and then the train. And all it takes is one of those two things to be messed up, and your whole journey is dashed. And there's nothing worse when they cancel a train. You're just stuck on the platform for half an hour waiting for the next train. It's all dead time. That's half an hour less you've got at home.
Yeah, I feel like, you would always complain. Like with me, I just think to I internalize a lot of things. So like I'll be like, oh, for God's sake, the train's cancelled again. All right, like let's just power through. In my mind, so I don't have like an internal my internal dialogue is, okay, where do I go to next to get to there, or where do I go to there to get to there? That's my internal dialogue. But you'll like complain, complain, and I'll be like, but you're not the only one in this position.
I know, but it doesn't make it better.
No, it doesn't make it better for sure. But like, I'm just like very like, how am I going to get from here to here?
But yes, in answer to your question, Vaughan, I totally agree with you. Do you know what? It's also not only is it exhausting, it's really depressing. It's so, honestly, it really does get you. I can see part of the journey. I used to get really stressed at work. I thought, why am I so stressed? And you realise it's the flimming journey. Really stresses you out. Richard said Brick Lane is good for old school fashion. Okay, I've not. Do you know, we have. We've not been to Brick Lane for ages. Absolutely, we should.
I don't think I've. I think I went to Brick Lane once.
I've been to Brick Lane a few times,
but it was years and years and years ago. It might have been once.
We should do a food review there. Really.
Yeah.
Amy said the PPR Journal is the magazine of contemporary culture, fashion, and dress, established 2015. Amy said he must have taken it down, but oh well.
Yeah,
there is something there, but
it's the magazines. Look, that's the magazines, the issues.
It's got the issues on there, but I mean, maybe he's. I think this is the one, but there's no picture of any guys on there.
Yeah, no, there's no pictures. Even when you go to the contact, you've got David Bennett, and I think Maya's on there, but he's not on there.
Okay, that makes sense.
Because when you go to...
There's somebody called David on there. I don't know if that's him.
Yeah, but there's no picture of him.
Oh, okay. Richard said, go to Brick Lane. Nice place. It's like a mini Camden Town. Now, I've been to Brick Lane a while ago as well, but I do want to go there to try and sample some of the food. I really would like to go. And somewhere else we've not been in a while is Camden.
Yeah, Camden. God, I was there like years ago.
Oh, yeah. Well, you went with me. It is the one. Says,
when? When did we
go? Yeah, it is the one, said Amy. That is the one.
Yeah, no, that's the one. Yeah.
I didn't say his surname, but it's somebody David on there.
Yeah. Well, he's got a magazine out, so I don't think that when you say his name is there for the whole world to see.
I got premieres on videos up to the 3rd of May. Oh, you have? Yeah, I saw your prems. You've got them all lined up. There's some of them that are really good. I'll be checking those out, actually, especially the bus ones you've got coming up. My parents are going tomorrow, says Amy. Oh, anywhere nice? Or are they going into London? When you say they're going...
Yeah, what do you mean they're going?
Are they going on holiday or are they going into London? Richard said Camden Town, only an hour away from me. Oh, yeah, it would be, actually. It's not... Our train used to go up to Camden.
Yeah.
But Kentish Town, I should say. But now they've actually changed it, so it doesn't go there anymore. So we've now got to go the long way. Yeah, I'll talk about it for ages. Oh, they're going to Camden. All right, your parents are going to Camden. All right, okay. Like I said, we've not been for ages. Little tip for Camden Town: if you do go to Camden Town and you want to get some food there in the market stalls, wait till 4 o'clock if your belly can hold out, because they do drop all the prices. I don't know if they still do that, but they always used to do that.
Yeah, I would say. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've been to Camden. It's been a long time since I've been to Portobello Road or anything like that as well.
Yeah.
Like, because that's all over that way, I guess. But
yeah, we've not. To be fair, we've not been other places as well, but we do. Oh, hang on. Amy said. So Richard said Cyberdog is my favourite place, and oh my God, Cyberdog though, Richard, is so expensive. So anyone who's not been, Cyberdog is actually a place in Camden that sell like retro punky type clothes, but it's so expensive in there. And Zombie Punk is cool. I don't recall the Zombie Punk, but I do remember Cyberdog. That's right in the marketplace. You're just Itsu it, says Amy. You're not going to go. Oh, you're going as well to Camden. Yeah, I saw your lanyard, Richard. What was I going to say? So yeah, we do have that coming up. So that's our premiere for Blacklock. We do have some others coming up as well.
Yeah.
There's 2 more videos I need to edit and upload. So those I'll be working.
I haven't told them what that is. I thought, you know what, I'll leave it as a sort of like
a little surprise. So
yeah.
I'll be editing them this week. Hopefully I can get them up for the weekend. And then at the weekend we'll be doing some more filming as well. So we'll have more videos coming up.
Yeah, we should edit though where we will, we'll.
Oh yeah, we'll. That's on the back burner as well. Our editing package is really playing up at the moment. So what should take me an hour or maximum 2 is taking me 4 because it's so slow and it just won't catch up. So I have to rewatch it again and again and again and eventually see if I can see if I've edited it properly. So we just need to get more equipment. I just resigned to the fact we have to spend money to do it. Best time is the Cyberdog season sale. Well, when is that? Do we know? I mean, assume it's always in the summer or January, but I have lots of Cyberdog gear. Oh, you've got loads of Cyberdog gear. I remember years ago when I went there, it was really pricey. Amy said, Mark, my friends are at the Download Festival in June. Oh, I'm jealous. The Download Festival is a heavy metal festival. I really wanted to go when it was Donington Monsters of Rock. And obviously they changed its name then to Download. And then it's obviously over several days. You can come with me. We can get a tent.
Oh, thank you.
Do you imagine Kelly at a metal
I
concert?
couldn't think of anything more worse.
Hey, some of the stuff you've dragged me to, that's the least you can do.
Oh, please. When we're in Vegas and they're playing in Vegas, I'll go with you. How about that?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Peach, really.
But if you're talking about dragging me to some dirty field with a tent and it's raining and all that and I can't shower, no.
Princess Kelly. Richard said, end of season, like spring is coming up. Check out the website. Okay, well, I will have a look at that, actually. It's been a long time since I went to Cyberpunk. Richard said, Download is awesome. Easy to spend lots. Have you been? That's one of the things that I always wanted to do is go to Download. I will do all the editing for you. Only joking. Everyone has their own editing software. No, we do. Do you know what? Our editing software is the problem, Amy. It really is.
Well, it's that and the laptop because the laptop is old now. It's an old laptop. And so we need to get a couple of new things. We need to get a new laptop. We need to get another camera.
Yeah.
We need to get a new editing package.
Yeah. Apart from that, it's all right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we do need to get a few more bits and bobs. So please, guys, bear with us while we churn out our videos.
Yeah.
Of varying quality. We will get there with it. It's just trying to get it to speed up with it and B, improve the quality.
And I figured out now how to use the Tascam because the Tascam wasn't picking up the vocals. So I was attaching a microphone to it, but however, I couldn't fit so basically the microphone is a TRRS and the Tascam accepts a TRS. So I had to buy an adapter that switches a TRRS to a TRS before the microphone would work, which it does now. However, I wanted to get a splitter. And would you believe it? I'll be damned if I can find 2 microphone splitters. One is always a microphone and one is always for the headphones. So I can't, I'm looking for a splitter so that Mark can have a lapel microphone and I could have a lapel microphone.
So this is
one of the lavalier.
One of the challenges we have with our videos is the sound quality. The camera's okay, but it's okay if we're doing something like this. But when we're in a restaurant or somewhere outside, it really can be a bit muffled. So we really want to try and improve that quality. Amy said Adobe all the way for editing packages.
Yeah.
So we will look at that. The one we use is a video editor, is it? Or video?
VideoPad. NCH.
Richard said, I've still got to use my AI editing skills. Trying to think where to put them. Well, you could try, just do a little, what we did a few experimental videos, Richard. So for sound effects and stuff like that, I would get Kelly to say something and I would just edit it and then just add some effects just randomly to see how it worked. And then what worked, I would then try and put into our future videos. So you'll see some of the videos we do. We had Kelly will try something, and I got the crowd to go, and then whenever she tried, if it was she disliked, they go, oh. But I ditched that as well because I thought, I don't know, no one really commented on it, so I left that. But it was just good for an experiment.
Yeah.
Amy said, my friend's going for all 4 days at Donington. Sorry, I said Donington. Download and renting out a hotel. £800 for 4 nights.
I'm going to a hotel. That's a bit better.
But £800. But of course, the price will be high because lots of people will be doing the same.
Yeah, but if you split that between 2 people, that's £400.
Yeah, that's true. Richard said, I would love to have my mate's 16 grand camera. He got it from Japan. The memory it takes is insane. This is it, though. Of course, the good quality equipment will come out in a better quality video.
Yeah.
But you know what? With YouTube, you can just if you've got a decent phone, you can use your phone.
Yeah, a lot of people do use their phone. Like, I took some amazing footage with my phone when we were at the weekend.
Yeah.
After Blacklock, I took some amazing footage, and again, I just used my phone. Obviously, it's not as good as a camera, to be fair. Or for sure, but I did take some good footage, and I managed to do what you call it as well, panoramic thing with my camera. But some of the phones are fitted with really good cameras for vlogging, let's say. Not obviously for if you're like Amy, who's doing specific photography courses and using specific cameras, but for vloggers, like a lot of people do use their phones, so. And a lot of the phones have been fitted with good cameras for that purpose.
Amy said, I got a student discount of £16 a month for all suite, but somebody who is not a student for £300 a year for only one software. Oh, that's good you got that. The discount, that really going to make a difference.
Yeah.
Oh, no, the £800 she was saying for download is actually includes the travel and the tickets and the stay. All right, that makes a bit more sense. I thought that was just the hotel. I thought, God, that's expensive. How was your night out, Kelly? Asked Amy.
Yes. So, do you know what? So it ended up being me and Leash, and because the others had dropped out.
Well. The landlord has joined us. Hello.
The landlord. Yeah. So, the landlord knows Alicia very well.
Yeah.
So.
Thanks for sorry. Just quickly, Richard said glad your balloons are still up. We've just been lazy, although it doesn't read like 1,000 anymore. It looks like. Lou.
But yeah, because we just haven't turned the O's around. But yeah. So everyone dropped out in the end, but it was me and Alicia. But we had a good time because we haven't had a catch up, just the two of us, in so long. So it was nice just to go out, sit down, have a little bit of a chat, have something to eat and all of that. Yeah, it was nice. But we're gonna plan another date, and hopefully everyone can turn up for that date. But do you know what I mean? Some people were working and they just didn't feel like coming. Some people were working and couldn't come because they were working. Some people weren't feeling well, so they weren't coming. So it just so happened that everyone just dropped out bit by bit. But then it ended up being me and Alicia.
Amy asks, the landlord, do you have any houses I can rent? He does, Amy. That's what they call him, the landlord.
Yeah, but they're not in London.
No.
Yeah.
He put... So Dean, who is the landlord, put at Amy. You know, Amy, you know. Mm-hmm. Well, unfortunately not at the moment. Oh, you've got a full house.
Ah.
So Madame has been going for 2 hours. I can't even profess to say you're still going well for your 2 hours.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
Everyone's kept me company.
Yeah. So I think we will leave it there for music on after this. There you are. So we will leave it there for this time. Apologies for my lateness. I'm blaming TfL, Transport for London, completely for this. That's it for Mark and Kelly's trips, tips, and things for Tuesday. But we will be back, and I'm working from home, so I can make it at 6 o'clock. Yeah, well done, Kelly, for all of that. So we will see you 6 o'clock Friday. UK time. I can actually make it for this time. Mm-hmm. Until then, have a fantastic week, everybody.
And I think this is bank holiday weekend.
Oh, it is bank holiday weekend coming up, so even better. So take care. Have a good week, guys. above all, look after yourselves and remember you are never too old to have fun. We will see you on Friday. Take care, and we will hope you have a fantastic week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.